Yo, what's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another gameplay video. Today we got some Evo Booster gameplay for you guys. I'm on the bottom playing Tien, and James is on top playing Nappa, both of which I think are quite good decks from Evolution Booster. I've actually been putting more time into Tien. I think it's actually a really good green deck. So we'll see what that deck's able to do down here. We kind of know Nappa, what it wants to do is play a lot of Cybermen. There are also a lot of good green-red cards that Nappa plays, so we'll see some of those as the game progresses. But if you guys are new here, definitely subscribe, hit that bell so you miss a video. So James starting off his turn 1, taking a life to play a Cyberman from the deck. Playing the 1-drop for the blocker is so good, but you have the red Cyberman that can also combo with cards like the Yamcha Unison that he just played. The Yamcha Unison plus a red Cyberman is kill 20 any 20k in the game, right? Which is kind of nuts. That plus the fact that on your awakened side your leader also adds a -10 to whatever you're killing with the Cyberman. That's -30 to anything in the game. It's honestly kind of crazy. So we're using Tien's effect here to search our Chaozu once per game. We're going to put that in play here. I'm going to attack his Unison. So my rationale here is if he blocks, I'm okay with that, because then my Chaozu can, if he chooses to pop it, my Chaozu will die. I'll play a Tien from the deck. But he's actually going to block and then Nappa's super combo. Now this is really interesting because he's keeping his blocker on the field and he's not, you know, forced to be put in a position where he can KO my Chaozu and I don't get to play anything out of it. This is really good because now going back to his turn, James has the ability to kill my Chaozu by minusing it, so it's not going to be KO'd. Chaozu only triggers when it's KO'd. If it survives to my next turn to play Bardock Unison, I'll be in pretty good shape, but that's probably not going to happen here. So James looks like he's taking a life to play a Cyberman. He will play the red one, so now with the +1 on the Yamcha, he can very easily kill the Chaozu. Again, that's going to trigger, or rather not trigger, the effect because it's not being removed by being KO'd, since the Yamcha is giving it -10. He's going to pay 2 here for Piccolo. So I'm at 7 life. So this is not the most threatening. He is going to get some draws, though, and I'm going to go to 4. So going to 4 pretty early is a little scary. I'd rather awaken at like turn 3, turn 4, but we shall see what we're able to do with the rest of our turn. He's going to go leader into leader. I'm at 4 life, so why not just keep putting pressure on? I'll combo a Roshi. I want that in the drop area anyway, so that's not too bad. Even though I'm probably going to be forced to awaken here at turn 2, I think I'm still feeling kind of okay. I've got Frieza Charismatic in my hand. I've got Dormant Potential in my hand. I've got Unisons to play. So I think tapping out will be somewhat okay here. We will play the Unison. Yeah, and Bardock Total Unison is just so good against a lot of the meta right now. It's great against King Piccolo. It's great against any of these Arrival decks. Seems good against Nappa because his Nappa super combo goes to the drop instead of him getting the chance to play it, as long as I use the Bardock in the correct circumstance. So that should be good. I awaken here and I play my Tien tokens. I'm just playing cell tokens. Doesn't really matter. I don't tap what you use, but those just represent my 3 Tien tokens. So with my 3 Tien tokens, my leader actually gets a big buff. I attack, gain 5k, gain critical, and I get to pop a 4 or less. So having that free removal on the Piccolo Jr. just feels so good. I actually like this leader's awaken a lot. It's actually similar to Nappa. You don't spawn blockers, but you do spawn the tokens that just, you know, buff your leader. They're pretty good. Also nice that his Unison's 9k. So I do get to just kind of clear that for free as long as he's not blocking it or anything. So we're going to uptick. James should be pitching a card out of his hand. He'll pitch a red Cyberman. We're going to go 15k. Probably into Unison. He'll take a marker off. We'll go token into Unison. And he could block, but he wouldn't really get any value out of it. He could do the same thing he did to me earlier where he like blocks and uses Nappa super combo, but he kind of used one on the board, but now I can knock it out, right? So that's not really a great play at this point in the game. Probably going token into red Cyberman here. He's going to block, it looks like. He's going to attempt to Nappa, and I think I'm going to remind him about the fact that I've got the Bardock Unison, so he's going to be like, oh, nope, never mind, you can kill it. And again, this is testing, so taking back something like that is not a big deal. Yeah, he'll let the red Cyberman die. I lose a token, but I feel like that's pretty much okay. If I get a Tien into play, I can turn my leader effect back on. But the Chaozu in this matchup is, honestly, this is one of the only matchups where Chaozu hasn't actually been able to resolve, which is, it hurts a little bit for sure. Not having that extra Tien for my leader's backside is definitely not the best. But I think we're still in a pretty okay position here. Even though I was aggroed really hard, forced to awaken on turn 2, I think we're still in a pretty okay spot here. So it looks like James is going to get a Cyberman out of the deck. He's going to play Nappa, testing the opposition. So that's going to play 2 Cybermen from his deck, and he's kind of skipping a step here. He's basically playing testing opposition and awakening. So that's why he basically played the Nappa for 1. So he's got a ton of Cybermen on the field now. Lots of blockers, particularly. But lucky for us, we do play a board wipe in the deck. If you guys don't know what the board wipe in this deck is, you'll see it in just a bit. Otherwise, I'm going to be in a big pickle if I don't board wipe him pretty soon. James using the top 7 leader effect to grab Nappa, testing opposition. He'll have to bottom deck a card, but that's not too bad. He can just put Cybermen back into his deck to bring them out later with other effects in his deck. Rearranging his board a little bit. Looks like he'll boost the red Cyberman. A little bit of a missequence, because now I get to pop that Cyberman before it was able to attack. So James could have done that a little bit differently, where he didn't quite have to boost it yet. So I'm killing his 2 red Cybermen, and then those Cybermen trigger to kill my tokens, which I don't really care too much about. I did spawn them for free, and my leader's backside was already pretty much turned off, so not too problematic there, I wouldn't say. So that leader attack connected with my unison. I took a marker off of it. But he does, if he wants to damage my unison with anything on his board, he will have to combo, which my unison can knock out. So he might end up playing a battle card to do that, and then I can just use Charismatic Villain. So he's going to go testing opposition with into my Bardock, and I'll knock out the combo. So yeah, he does get another Nappa into play, but he did just pretty much pitch a card for nothing. So his turn's over because of Dormant Potential unleashed. My unison survives. I'm feeling pretty good about that. Going into our next turn, this Cocoon Stuff Revolution Booster, I think it's a very good card. Not at all live in this matchup, so we're pretty much just going to charge it. And even though he's got a ton of blockers, I think I've got him in a pretty good spot. So let's see what the deal is. Let's go thinking about the order to swing here. I do have some options. I can play a 1-drop, make him pitch before I swing, give him less options on what to discard. So we'll go 20k into his leader. Nice thing is he's at, he's at 4 life. So if he wants to Nappa here, I can knock it out. So he can't really defend all too well. He's going to go to 3. I'm going to play Cocoon, so it looks like. Pick a card out of his hand. He gets to choose, of course, but we're going to uptick that, make him pitch 1. I probably didn't commit to that yet. I probably wanted to see what I drew off my leader before committing, but I could have done that in the reverse order where I did the unison plus a 1-drop first, but I think I just wanted to draw and see what I would get. So it looks like let's go for a little bit of board clear. We'll keep 2 energy open. I do have a Cocoon to negate in hand, so that's going to be pretty good for kind of dealing with whatever he ends up playing, depending on what it is, of course, but we'll see. So he's going to play SS3 Gohan Master Surpass. So that gives me a pretty decent sized issue there. He's going to swing, burn me on the Alliance, and then I'm going to be floodgated almost out of playing battle cards 20 or less. I can play them by critting a life, and I'm thinking about using Kakunsa here to pop his Nappa super combo, but I would have to crit a life. I do have half of the Tien combo in my hand. I still need that Goku, but I do have super combos to try and dig for that. So we'll see what I end up doing here. I think the play here is to not negate. I'm hovering it to the board. I'm thinking about it. Haven't quite decided yet. Yeah, we're going to pull it back, it looks like. He's in an Alliance, so he will go to 24k. Easy super combo. Does let me cycle. Actually, okay, that's taking the burn damage. And I actually get the other half of the Goku combo off that burn damage. So I can combo out of this with my super combo. Warp a card in my hand. Yeah, we warp the negate here because I think next turn we gotta try and go all in if we can. So being at 3 life, my entire combo will require me to crit a life, but I think I have to go for it here. But we'll see what happens when it gets back to my turn. James using the top 7 of his leader to add a card and bottom deck a card. His leader is going to swing into my leader, looks like. So play another Cyberman, and I do have the Cell's Kamehameha. Technically, using the Cell here would be an over combo, but I think it's worth it here just to get the last card out of his hand. Now that I've gotten all the cards out of his hand, all I have to worry about is getting around his blockers, which I actually have the setup to do. So we'll see the main play of the Tien deck here in just a second. So since we have a green battle card in play, we can play the Goku. I have to crit a life to do so. And then I can pay 2 to play the Tien from my hand. That is going to board wipe him everything 10k, or sorry, 5 drop and less. So minor issue, I do remove the red Cyberman. I don't actually have a choice. It's not an up to effect on the Tien. So I do remove the red Cyberman, and that is going to allow his leader to minus 10 something, and then his Cyberman can kill something that's 10k or less. So he can, in theory, just kill the Tien off of that. And we're kind of just talking about it in this part, making sure it was a choose all or choose up to, and Tien is choose up to, choose all rather. If Tien would choose up to, I actually would have let him keep the red Cyberman here, just so I don't lose my Tien off the field. That's kind of something you want to keep in mind. Yeah, it seems kind of weird to leave a battle card on the field when you can remove it, but he actually gets a benefit if I were to remove it. So in that case, I am going to just wipe everything. He is going to kill my Tien. He is at 3 life though, no cards in hand, and I do have a couple things to combo, so I think we're actually going to get this one here. We're going to go 20k at his leader. I should have swung Unison first because my leader becomes 20 when I do this. So the 15 would have been guaranteed. I should have done it differently, but in reality, this game is pretty much wrapped up here. So yeah, in this case, we're going to go with just comboing out into everything, and that's going to be the game. But pretty close, I would say. The Master Surpassed almost locked me out of the game. If I had 1 less health, 1 less life rather, that would have actually been probably GG. But anyways, guys, I do want in the comments below what you think about this gameplay. I hope you guys enjoy the Evolution Booster stuff. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.